Good morning, students. In this session, we are going to see about fourth unit, that is the testing the Android application. So, how to do testing. So, till now, so far, we have seen what are the different applications that are there, how to design the XML part using various components, and also how to write a business logic based on the various classes and the interfaces and also methods. So, myself, Dr. Shirisha, Associate Professor from MLR Institute of Technology, Dept of CSE. So, testing the Android applications. Whenever you build any application, so there are few steps that we have to follow. First, you need to know what are the requirements, then develop according to the design phase and the business logic, the Java part, in the Android Studio for Android applications. And based on this, once it is developed, you need to go for testing. So, once testing is done, then you can go for publishing the application using different maybe Google Play Store or App Store. So, like that, you have to use some platform to publish your applications. So, this is testing Android application. So, what is Android testing? So, Android framework. What is Android framework which we are using? What we are using? We are using Android Studio. Right? So, Android framework includes an integrated testing framework. It also includes what? Integrated testing framework that helps you to test all the aspects of your application. All the aspects means what? What are the aspects we have? We have two aspects. One is through design, whether your design is going to show the exact margins or the exact components, exact sequential order or in the grid order. Okay, like that. So, there is a design aspects and also the application aspects. Application aspects like validations or any business logic. Okay, based on this, like these two are based on your Java part, right? So, according to your, this is design is based on your XML part. So, activity underscore XML, activity main.xml, activity main.java. So, these two are the different programs, these two are the aspects of your application. Apart from these two, we also has to ensure whether your application is synchronized with the different APIs. So, we use the Android APIs which are more than API 20 or API 30, API 31. Okay, like that, right? Based upon a few applications will support the API levels which are upper than the 28. Like that, these are also few root causes which are affecting the different aspects of your application. And the SDK tools. What are the different SDK tools? We have the SDK tools like your Java, your emulator, your activities. Okay, then you have different libraries which have to be imported to run your application, and also different anatomies like drawable. Okay, then raw folder mainly we have created. Then we have XML part, we have values, we have strings, and we have MIP maps. Okay, so these are all the different resources. So, what is this SDK tool is, whatever the tools you are using, like APK files will also come under this. Okay, like that, whatever the tools you are using for your Android application to work, that is SDK tools. Include the tools for setting up, running the test applications. Not only for setting up your application, they are also used for running the test applications. Whether you are working in Eclipse with the ADT, working from command line, SDK tools help you to set up and run the test within the emulator or device targets. Device targets means what? Where whatever the application you have created or you have developed, this will generate an APK file. This APK file will be dumped in your mobile phone, Android mobile phone. Therefore, you can run your application in your mobile phone also. So, when you are using the target devices also, your SDK tools are compatible. They are helping you to run the test cases. So, this is what the Android testing about Android framework. Then, Testing Android applications. Now, how will be the structure of when you wanted to test? How will be the structure of your Android? Android's builds and it tests the tools. Assume the test projects that are organized in the standard structure. So, this is the standard structure. So, what is the standard structure of test? Test case classes, test packages and test projects. So, this is what you are having a test case classes, and all these test case classes, they are instrumentation and JUnit. These are used to test your classes, and you also have test packages. These test packages are being used by the instrumentation test runner, and this will run the test packages so that it will affect the application packages. And both these need to be tested by using different testing tools or the monkey runner. Monkey runner is also one testing tool. So that will test your instrumentation test runner. So like this, it will use the different tester tools to run your instrumentation, where it will test all the different packages of your application package. And there are different like JUnit. This JUnit is used for testing your test classes of your application. So this is about the test projects. Okay, this is the structure you need to follow. So how many are using? You are using a monkey runner, you are using a JUnit, and you are using different mock objects also for sending your classes or for using your classes along with the packages that you are going to use. Testing the Android applications. Android testing. Android framework includes an integrated testing framework. Yes, integrated testing framework is there. But what is the use? It helps you to test all the aspects of your application. This we have discussed, right? So that all the applications will use your emulator, SDK tools are used, and all these SDK tools will support your emulator as well as your applications. I mean your target devices that you are going to deploy your application. Now, testing tools in Android. What are the different testing tools in the Android application? Some official tools are there like JUnit and Monkey, and some other third-party tools are also there that are used to test the Android applications. So, we use the two test applications. One is a JUnit, the other one is a Monkey. Where we have already discussed the JUnit, it will be testing all the different classes that are deployed. Monkey is used to test runner, instrumentation test runner has been tested by the Monkey using different testing tools. So, this is used for different packages. Okay. Now, what is JUnit? Now coming to JUnit, you can use the JUnit test case class to do the unit testing on a class. JUnit, as I told you, it is used for test case the classes, right? So on a class that does not call the Android APIs, it will not call the Android APIs directly. It will test the classes. Test case is also the base class for the Android test case. So Android test case is a base class in which you are using the Android test case as a class, right? Derived class, which you can use to test the Android dependent objects. So, along with the classes, this JUnit is used with the test objects also, because classes use objects. So, these dependent objects are used by this Android test case class. Besides providing the JUnit framework, Android test case offers Android specific setup, teardown, helper methods. So what does JUnit framework can do? If you are using this Android test case, this Android test case helps you to first set up your application using the classes, set up all the classes, tear down all the classes, that is the second one, and helper methods. By you to use those classes, what are the different methods that are to be needed to implement your application? So that is being used. So setup, take down, and also the helper methods of your Android test case method, test case class are used here. In order to use your test case, extend your class with test case class, implement a method called setup. So, okay. So this is a base class, we will implement this test case with the Android test case class. Now, what are the method that you are implementing? Setup method. Now, this is an example syntax. So, public class math test. Now, it is extending what? Test case. Now what is this test case? This is a class. Now protected double F value. So we are taking some math test. We are taking two values double which are of type double. Now you are setting up, you are implementing the method what? Setup method. So what is setup? You are just initializing the values F value and F value 2 with two different values. This is just the definition of a class. Now once the class is over, for each test implement a method which interacts with a fixture. That means implementing a method. We have already given here setup method. Now this setup method, here we are calling what? We are defining what? Test add. Test add as a next method. Verify the expected result, calling the assert true with a boolean. Now what is here? We are using a assert true method whether your result is being correct or not. It is efficiently giving the correct output or not. So as F1 value, F value 1, F value 2 are both what? Double type. So the result also will be of double. Just this is for adding we have taken. Now assert true, what assert true will do? It will be giving the expected results. Now what is the result? 5. Is it true? So whether it is true or not, you have to check. The assert method compare the values you expect from the test to actual results and throws an exception if the comparison fails. But here what are the values we have given? 2.0, 3.0. By seeing this, we can know that the result is 5.0. Therefore, the result is true. Once the methods are defined and you can run them, this test case, test, this is the object, new test case, test add. Now test dot run. What will happen? This will be defined. Okay, once these methods are defined, this is given and the logic is applied, the result is applied. Now what is happening? Your test case is been running and using this test dot run. What is test? Test is the object. Now since you are using a test case as a class, this class is using an object called test which is defined here to run your test add. What is test add? To add your F value 1, F value 2. Now that can run using the test dot run method. Now that is about the J unit. The simple code, sample code using a sum of the two values we have defined. Similarly, we will see monkey. Monkey for what? Packages, as we know. Now, UI or application exerciser. UI or application exerciser means what? It is just checking every package and checking every class which are related to package which is running smoothly or not. Usually called monkey is a command line tool. What is this? This is a command line tool that sends streams of keystrokes, touches, gestures to the devices. So what we will do, since we are using Android here, we may touch it or we may click a button or we may use your keyboards for different strokes or touches or different gestures. So you run it with the Android debug bridge which is a ADB tool. ADB is nothing but here an Android debug tool. So monkey is used for the packages with the help of some tool, right? Some tool. That tool is nothing but Android debug bridge. You can use it to stress test your application and report back errors that are encountered. So because this is a testing tool, it gives you the whatever the errors you have that is given using some report. You can repeat the stream of events by running the tool each time the same random number seed. So whenever the values are being changing, because this is a test, you need to test it by giving different inputs. That is about the monkey. Now here monkey features. What are the different features of monkey? The main features that can be used by using this monkey is summed up with the 4 categories. What are those? Basic configuration options. What are the configurations you are using? Operational constraints, event types and frequencies, and debugging options. Basic configuration options means what is the configuration that is being done in the manifest file or in the Gradle build script. What are the API levels you are using to deploy your application, and if you are using an emulator, whether your emulator version are matching with your API levels or not. If it is below to the API level, it won't work. So that configurations should be done. So basic configuration options should be will be checked by the monkey. Operational constraints. Now when you are executing, Sometimes you need a design phase, sometimes you need a business logic, sometimes you need external sources that are need to be given, like for background images, whether images deployed or not, images saved in the drawable folder or not, like that. Few sort of what events, or we can say operational behaviors, so that can be different constraints will be given, so whether that is implemented properly or not. That has also been seen by one of the feature of your monkey. Event types and frequencies. Event types, like you can click a mouse, or you can also hover your cursor onto some position, like that. The different events may occur, right? So event types and its frequency, how many times you are using a key, okay, to perform some action, so that is a frequency. Debugging option is how to debug when it is showing some errors, how to debug and what are the options, how it is giving. Again, monkey feature is helping you to do that. So these are the basic features that monkey has, that summed up with this 4 categories. The monkey usage. In order to use monkey, open up the command prompt. So this is what Android, go to Android SDK platform tools. Okay, then you can navigate to your monkey. Inside the directory, attach your device with the PC. What is the device? Your mobile phone, Android mobile phone. This will be attached with the PC, and run the following command. What is the command? ADB Android. What is this? Android debugger. Okay, shell monkey and -p. This is option. Your package name and the version and 500. So this is the command you need to give once your Android mobile phone is connected to your PC. So that this command is broken down into these things. What? Android debug bridge, which is a tool used to connect and send the commands. What this ADB will do? It will be connected and send the commands to your Android phone from the desktop or laptop. That is what, right? Whenever you deploy your APK file, then you double click on that APK file, then only your application will run. So how it is happening? So by using this ADB, it is sending the signals or sending the information, messages to your Android phone that you have to open up this. When you click something, it is telling that to perform respectively, perform as you are doing. So in that way, it will connect and sends the commands to your Android phone. For that, we are using what? ADB, Android Debugger Bridge. Now, shell. Next, we are going to talk about shell. What is shell? Shell here is nothing but it is just an interface on the device that translates our command to the system commands. If I say open, your system doesn't understand what is open. The system should have its own language to convert this open with its own code, right? So that is the interface which you are using for shell. Okay. Then monkey. Monkey is a testing tool, as we know. So monkey is a testing tool, so we are giving it. Then V stands for verbose method. So V here it stands for verbose, and 500 is the frequency count of the number of events to be sent for testing. So how many times event can be used? What is the type of event you are using? If you are using multiple times, so how many times of maximum times you can use, that is 500. So that is a frequency you are setting up using this command. So following is a command which is being broken and we have seen its usages. So this is how a monkey command can be sent. So once this is being sent, you can see here the sample output. So if you run the monkey tool default UPI application, in order to run it, here you have to do is, you will get finish as shown below. So this has been shown in the below. By typing this command, it actually generates how many? 500 random events for testing. So you could see here, so this is all sending touch, sending trackball, sending touch and all. Okay, so you are just sending this is ADB shell monkey. This is a command that we are going to use. So once you give it, so this is sending, this is seed and count of 500 times and allow the package. So whatever the package you are using, that package name will be there. Include the category Android Intent Category Launcher. So it is launching the application, and it is launching the application using the monkey also. So this is also included. And these are the different events. 0, 1, these are the codes of different events, and these events are used these many percentage times. Okay, these many number of frequencies we are giving. And this is the overview of how your application package is running. So this package, when it is being running, it is sending these commands. What are the commands? Sending touch and sending trackball. So what is that? Action up, action down. So up and down you are using, and move your cursor. This is a trackball. Okay, and again touch, action down and action up. Like that, different commands are being sent from your computer to your Android application. So this is the output when you execute the above command using the command line. And here is an example, and this example demonstrates the use of testing. Okay, and we need to run this on the actual device, then follow the monkey steps. Then what is this? 1. So here we have seen what are the events, right? 0, 1, 2, 10, like that. So here we have steps. If you'll be using Android Studio to create Android application under the package, obviously. Where initially what you will do, you will select one empty views activity, give your application name. So that is this one, and modify your source file. That means your Java file, main activity.java, to add activity code, obviously, and modify layout XML. Okay, activity underscore main.xml, that will be stored where? In your resources, in the layout, under the resources, under the layout, you will be having activity underscore main.xml. So this is the path that you are using for saving this activity.xml, and create your Java file. If you want any other activities to develop any intents, internal or external intents, if you wanted to do, then you want multiple Java files, then you can add them. Modify to layout XML from the view.xml if required, and run the application, install the application, verify the results. This is what we used to do. And here we are connecting so we are talking about SDK also, right? SDK, among SDK, one is your activities main.xml and activity underscore main.xml and main activity.java. And along with that, we also have emulator. So here we are choosing a running device where your device has to run. So this is I assume you connected to actual Android mobile device, and to run the application, open the project's activity and click on run. So when you run, before starting your application, Android Studio will display an option to run your Android application. So this is the window that it shows you, where you can select either the emulator or the device that you have connected to your system. Android mobile phone that is connected to your system as a device. So one of them you will select, and you just click on OK, so that it will use the particular emulator or the Android device to run your application. So we have selected your mobile application, and now follow the steps at the top under the monkey section in order to perform the testing. Okay, so here we are using Iris, where we have uses Nexus. That is about the two different applications that we have used, the JUnit for classes and the monkey for the package, and sample examples. Now, once testing is done, what we have to do? Your application is ready, developing is done, and you know all the requirements. You have developed your application, testing is also done. Now it's time for deploying. That deploying is nothing but publishing your Android application. So this is the publishing steps. For publishing also, we need several steps, and every Android mobile phone will be having a Google Play Store where you can download multiple applications or the respective applications that you wanted to use. So it involves a few steps. What are the steps for uploading your app? First, create a developer account. So the first and foremost thing, if you wanted to use any website, what we are doing, we are registering first. Similarly, if you wanted to upload your application done in the Google Play Store, then what you need to do, you have to create a developer account. How you need to do? You need to have a Google Play developer account, and you need to create a new account by going to the console website and follow the instructions. Okay. Once it is created, prepare your application. Before publishing, what you need to do, you have to make your application ready for release. So test your application thoroughly to ensure it's stable, free of bugs, and works well on a variety of devices. And see that when you develop your application will run in OnePlus, your application will run in the Samsung, your application will run in some X and Y. So like that, different mobile phones will have different resolutions or different screen resolutions and also different compatibilities, right? Our application should be able to work on any device. So that is your testing your application so that it will be stable and free of bugs and works well in every device. And create an application listing. Create an application listing means what? You need to provide some information about your application, including the title, so that it will understand what actually your application is, and some description. By seeing the title, if something need to be understand, then you need to give some description. By seeing the description, few members can understand what actually the title is. The screenshot, so that rather than reading and listening, visibility will give you more clearer pictures. So screenshots also are possible, or any other promotional materials are possible. So this information will be used to create your app and listing in the Google Play Store. And set pricing and distribution. You can choose to offer your application for free or charge a price for it based upon its demand. You can also select which countries your app will be available in. If it is available, it should be available only in India, then you need to select such options. So that customization is possible in your Google Play Store while you are publishing your application. Once you have set up your pricing, then you need to upload your application. So you can either upload your application, you need to provide the APK file, or all the above steps are completed, go to Google Play console, you need to provide the APK file. This APK file will be binded with the entire application that you have developed, which is a file that contains the actual app code. Okay, and submit your app for review. After you have uploaded, it will be reviewed by the team, that Google Play team, and ensure it meets the Google Play developer program policies. There are few rules and regulations that need to be followed. Then you have to publish your application. So the ethical rules and the different compatibilities and rules and regulations that your Google Play has been defined. So those need to be followed strictly for publishing your application. So the review process can take several days. You may need to make changes to the app and comply with the policies. So once the review is done, then publish your application. Your app passes the review process, that's enough. When it is passed the review process, your application is ready to deploy. Now, your app is available for download. So this is the process that you have to follow for publishing your application. Remember, publishing the app is just the first time. You'll also need to promote your app, monitor its performance, and provide updates to keep the users engaged. So that whenever you got updates, the user should know that it got updates. But if not, the previous versions may not work properly, because you might disable the previous version some activities, so that once this information is given to all the users, they can upload it and they can upgrade it and use the updated versions. So this is about publishing the devices. So in this session, we have seen how to test using the JUnit for classes and the Monkey for packages using command line, and also for how to publish your application in the Google Play Store. Hope you all understood. Thank you all.